Turn 41 of Auburn Crown 0.4 playthrough. Let's go straight to the replay. Castile continues to be the main focus of attention, and attacks continue against my defenders, and he continues to take quite a bit of damage, but of course so do I. Another elite unit bites the dust. Okay, so he has sent in some undersea units to spy out Calm Water Bay. Now that's a bit of a problem, because I was going to use this turn to transfer some of Danevirk's forces to the assistance of Ang Forward. So we'll see how that goes, whether I can actually do that or not. Because if those undersea units get in the way, you know what it's like when submarines stop you from doing the things that you want to do in war in Europe. Same sort of deal. Now I left that undersea unit there for too long, and they're now paying the price, of course. In the south of Malkan, there continues to be the northward advance of Potentia's allies and Potentia itself. Right, okay, so I've lost Shartha Bay fairly quickly, and we will now see what would probably be the penultimate turn for the Ancients. There's really not much left to defend, is there? Alright, so all that's left now is that solitary leader and those wonderful eagles, rocks, big birds, whatever they are, that are north of Miletus. Probing attacks continue against my resources. Alright, so I get a couple of reinforcements to put into Malkan, very handy at this stage. I'm putting them far enough back, I hope, to allow them to increase their readiness. I'll bring down a leader as well, because obviously one of those is going to be needed, and leave one in the north there. Zara seems to be reasonably secure at this stage. Right, so over in Castile again, and I'm running out of units. I'm going to try and defend Ter Margeb a little bit, because he anticipates that. That's why there are two cannons pointed at what remains of the castle walls, plus the special unit out there. But I'm going to try and spy out whether I can actually get some of these Danevirk units up through Calm Water Bay to Port Ergan. It looks like it's clear. Now that's a good thing. So how many units can I get up there? That's the question. I want to do it now before he blocks it off with a whole heap of undersea units. You can see it costs a fair bit anyway, but let's get the leader up there first. Now, going from this port, I need to be a little bit careful, because if there are adversary ships around there, of course that's going to be a problem. Now let's get up there. No, not that way. That way leads to death. Let's use the control key and tell them how to get there. Right, okay, so we've got a cavalry unit in there, and that's all I can afford this turn. So let's hope that's a good start. It's only a cavalry unit, but it's better than nothing. Could be in this battle, it could be the difference between victory and defeat. Right, so that unit there, it just depends Yeah, let's swap those over. So we got 10 strength. Of course, I lose a little bit of morale from the swap. Ooh, you didn't retreat. Very good. Okay, so that's the end of that unit, and I have enough movement points to get into relative safety. Right, so I'm going to have to try to get into a position where I can get those guys up there next turn. Better put the ships back into port. Right. I could have attacked with that galleon up there too, because it's got an air attack capability. So let's see what the ancients can do in their final days. A couple of points of damage, nothing to follow it up with. One lonely infantry unit sitting out there by itself. We'll try and bring it in so it can die with the rest of its clan. Morbid, yes, but true. Attacking against Guartenheim now. Alright, so I'm actually starting to do some damage to these elites. I was. Dear, they are so tough. Alright, that's good. 2 points of damage there. Now the reason why that's good is more so because when he reinforces them, assuming that he does, of course he might choose not to, then the amount of experience that they've got will drop. So they're on two levels at the moment, but hopefully that will drop. Alright, now these big wings, what do they think they're doing trying to defend a castle? So I'm going to show them that that is not how it's done. Normally we use troops, not birds. And I'm going to move forward and be a little bit ambitious. Just go straight into Guartenheim with my cavalry unit there. Beriand is asking where the Tribal League is. Well, nobody expects the Tribal League. They appear precisely when they decide to. Of course, I know that the Tribal League doesn't have very many units at all. It's been focused on diplomacy and technology, but yeah, no need to allude to that. Okay, so with the Tribal League ships, it might be time to move them across to support that warship that's in Thuidan at the moment. They do have 2 levels of sea warfare. That should help them a bit. But the ship there from Angford is a bit lonely and a bit vulnerable, so let's support it with a couple of ships from the Tribal League. Right, the map is relatively unchanged from last turn, but we're continuing to move to defend in certain places and hopefully hold in Castile. That's the biggest issue. Ending the turn. Now I get asked whether I want to send that unit through, send a leader through the portal between Castile and Thrangren. So you can click on view map if I want to see which one it is, and it is that one there with the star right in the middle. because it is on the hex that is a teleportation hex. It asks the question, and I don't want to move it, so I just say no. My ships go through to the other side of the world. Fumes affect my troops in Guaten Peak, around Guaten Peak. And that's the balance sheet. So thank you for watching. See you next turn.